Sophie, Tony's mother. And I have 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. Tony was my only son. Tony was kind-hearted, and he was very loving. He was very spoiled. Tony would give you the shirt off his back if you asked him for it. Literally, take it off and give it to you. Tony was born in Connecticut, and then he lived most of his life, adult life, in Georgia. He attended school in Gwinnett County, and then he moved on to college, where he studied computer information systems. Tony was well loved. I'm going to miss him so much. I'm going to miss his phone calls. He would call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "Mom, are you up?" I said, "No, Tony. Do you know what time it is?" The last time I spoke to him, he was ready to come back. He was living here in Augusta with his dad for a little while. He was ready to come back home to Lawrenceville. I was like, "Tony," he said, "Mom, I'm all packed. I'm ready to go." But he never made it because this murderer took his life. He took my son's life for no reason at all. They had a little argument, I guess, in the parking lot, and he gunned my son down. He shot him in the head and in the neck. He's a murderer.
To the animal that hunted my brother down like an unfulfilled sick game that you dreamt of but weren't able to live out your lifelong fantasy until this moment. You hunted my brother down like you were in a wild, wild west country western. While I watched my mother and father cry in agony over the pain that your sick game has caused. To add insult to injury, you are still on the street. To Judge Craig that let you out, are you really a judge? And honorable at that? Does due process not apply to the victim and families?
Would someone tell me what justice this judge gave my son to allow someone who killed him in broad daylight, assassinated him at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then allows him to sign himself out? My question to the judge is this, Judge Craig. Would you let this guy loose in your neighborhood around your family? I highly doubt it. There's no justice for Tony with Judge Craig. Maybe there's going to be another judge that can change this. But as far as Judge Craig, he shouldn't be on the bench. You get a bond on a DUI charge. Drinking and driving. This guy gunned somebody down in broad daylight and walked in the streets. Somebody please explain to me how that's possible. And ask this judge, what was he thinking to allow a murderer to roam the streets? Because he's not in his neighborhood, that's my opinion. Because he's no threat to him, but he's a threat to the black community. Because that's what he did, he killed my son.